Serving Tampa Bay since 1954. The Heritage Station. WTMP, Egypt Lake, Tampa, Clearwater, 97.5 in Pinellas.
Alrighty. It's that time again, people. It's that
Kind of.
It's that time that everybody, including the turkeys, have been waiting for. We got Porch Talk Radio.
Thank you very much.
Gabriel is live. Eddie is live. And we even seen a couple of Santa Claus out there live. Now, if you're ready for that, then you can. People.
Better late than never.
It's that time. Yeah. I know. I hope y'all waited, cause it's gonna be worth it. You know, the fact that we're 20 minutes late. You know, we had some technical difficulties, and if you guys have been around all day, then you probably noticed that you haven't heard personalities on the radio like you normally do. Having call in and discussions and stuff. But anyway, it's that time. I'm gonna get the show started. I ain't gonna go through my long diatribe because that 20 minutes have already been used. All right.
We can catch it on the end.
I'm Eddie Adams Jr., the host, Gabriel Phillips,
Live.
co-host, and Tim, our engineer. We're here in the studio.
Turkey noises. There we go, turkey noises.
On the day after Black Friday.
Hey, wait a minute now.
Yeah, it's racist, I know.
What about a Brown Friday?
But everybody making money. And they did have lines. And of course, the TV show Cruise was out some of these places at 4 o'clock. But we didn't have the people camp out all night,
Best Buy did.
Oh,
I was there at Best Buy Wednesday night. We passed by around 8:30. There was people out there sitting.
Oh, for the next day? Oh, okay. Well, it did happen some places then.
Well, that must have been Thursday now.
Yeah, because I know some people that was in Westfield Mall, the one that's in Brandon. They had people out there
Camping out?
And and the place was packed as usual. So the pre-COVID and the post-COVID. The pre-COVID, was everybody saying everything was gonna suck and everything was gonna be bad, and I guess we are currently getting back to normal because TIA had more passengers this year than they have in the last several years.
They had to get them out before the new variant came out.
Yeah. Well, the new variant is on the way, so I think we said Omicron.
There we go.
Now, and let me start the show. Then we do some more of this. Okay. The call-in number, Porch Talk Radio, 813-251-9867. 813-251-9867. Okay. My cell phone number, if you want to call me and talk about something, anything, is 813-12. Email Eddie, EDDIE, PorchTalkRadio.com. Facebook Live. Hey.
Like and share. Facebook
Good
Live.
to see you. Good to see you. We're here. You may not have been able to see a lot of live show. And that's the other thing, too. Some of the banks were closed. Some of the other places that normally would.
They got money. They're good.
Would be open, were closed. So it's getting back to normal. Not quite. Some things are still missing. And as I was telling my guys here, we do what we've been doing every year since I've been on my own.
Are we the homies?
Out of college. We went and bought a fresh, live green Christmas tree.
Eddie, you're behind the times. I got the China one with half the damn lights out. That's the tradition.
It's okay. Everybody got their own Christmas tradition. We ain't shading. We ain't casting shade on anybody's Christmas thing because Everybody do their thing, how they do it. You know, just that when my mom was here, every year as a child, we may not have had stuff to put under the tree, but we had a live tree. And every year for a month, the house smelled like pine, and something about that smell makes everybody happy. So you hear more laughter, more happiness being displayed during this time of year, and you know, for people who have little joy, you know,
little joy. Okay.
you know,
as opposed to big joy.
I didn't mean it the way it sounds. But for those who have little joy, you know, don't have much to smile about, enough to be happy about, you know, something about Thanksgiving and Christmas, when you get family together and you start talking about the good old days, and some days were gooder than other days, if you know what I mean, and that's Ebonics. So I had to throw a little bit of that in there, you know. So anyway, Porch Talk Radio. We're gonna do it. We're not gonna get as serious this week as we've been in the last couple of weeks, cause the fact that people have literally spent hundreds, if not thousands of years trying to make, I'm saying people, Europeans, Europeans. I'm just call a dog a dog. But Europeans have spent thousands of years trying to destroy evidence that's black folks were more than just the slaves that American has taught the whole world that we were.
And they've been around longer than 400 years, right?
Oh yeah. Well, something I found. The first.
Don't tell me Adam was black.
The first written language was done by the Egyptians. They were the one who actually developed writing on sand. What they call it? It's sand.
Papyrus and Sanskrit.
Yep.
Yeah, papyrus. It was a form of Sanskrit, and they got books that are thousands of years old. And the fact of the matter, most of the Europeans, and you've heard this before, you know, they learned from the Egyptians and then went back to Europe and kind of forgot where they got all that knowledge from. You know, those are the dumb, ignorant, stupid people.
Copyrighted.
Who was teaching them, you know, how to read and how to write and how to do all the stuff that they were saying what black folks couldn't do. We didn't just learn to read and write when we came to the United States of America. We learned to read and write English and versions thereof.
The other languages, I'm sure, yeah.
You know, not unlike for thousands of years we had our own. So, anyway, and I usually don't talk about this kind of stuff. I'm going to talk about Biden.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. There we go. Slippery slope.
Well, like I say, normally we don't have these kind of conversations. We don't talk about the same stuff everybody else talk about when they talk about it because it's not important. This is the show based upon folks explaining to you. You know, the major media outlets always tell you, well, Republicans said this, but this is what they meant. Like, we can't speak for ourselves, and conservatives. So, Biden, who has no backbone when it comes to bowing. See, they made a big deal when Obama bowed. You know, Biden spends half his foreign time away from the United States bowing to everybody. But it's no big deal if Obama, you know, may have, and you know, they went through a slow motion like it was a football play, bowing to some Shaw or some king, some king or something, out of respect, But about Biden literally, I'm thinking maybe he got down on his knees,
Come on now, Eddie. Come on.
Couple times, Well, I know
just because he's liberal and loose.
I know they won't tell you the full story, I'm like this. If you are a grown ass man pooping on yourself, it says something about your character alike there.
But Dr. Fauci covered for him, and Dr. Fauci said that's normal. And if Dr. Fauci says that, then it must be from God.
I know people in their hundreds, 100 years plus, who have not pooped themselves. I am sorry. So age is no excuse.
Age, okay, all right.
I'm just
You're
saying.
not giving any slack.
I'm not giving no slack. And the fact of the matter, had it been Trump,
Oh my God!
that's all you
They would
would
have
have
left him
heard.
behind without Air Force One.
Yeah, that's all you would have heard.
That's it.
24/7.
24/7.
And they got thousands of pictures of him sleeping in these real important meetings that he's representing the United States in all over the world.
Well, he's tired.
But like I'm saying, it's like any other job you got. Now, everybody talked about Reagan, and Reagan was old. Reagan was an old man, and he was in there, and he took his naps and did all this other stuff. But the presidential, see, it's not presidential. When no matter what Trump did, it wasn't presidential. It's certain things. I don't give a crap how old you are. If you're out there representing the United States of America, someone should kind of nudge you or ask you to take a break and go somewhere and knock you off, 20 minutes, take a quickie old man nap, and then get back to the meeting so you don't be on camera falling asleep.
Eddie, they actually have days they say they put the lid on it, and that means they take them away from the public and they put them down. I don't know if they plug them back in or what they do, but they put him off in a corner and he's out of sight and not allowed to talk to the media throughout for that day.
Yeah.
And sometimes it'll just be 2 hours in the morning. They'll allow him time to be out in front of the cameras, and then they say the lid's on the day, and that's it. And they pull him and they take him back to wherever until the next day. That's amazing.
Well, see, one of the things that I'm kind of what I'm trying to say is that they are covering for him, and the issue that they got to cover for him are quite different than the issues of any other president.
Because he's not talking to the press, so they're not allowed to ask him questions unless it's scripted.
Well, it's all scripted. It's all scripted.
So he can't think for himself, and they've got somebody talking in his ear telling him what to say.
And he is kind of, I'm kind of like this. You got China and Russia and all those other nations with leaders
That are aggressive.
that are not just manly and manly like, but the physique and the health and that whole thing has a lot to do with people respecting you. It's hard to respect a feeble old man pooping himself. I hope I don't get in trouble by saying that, but,
Well, Eddie,
but
just
see,
because-
that thing about telling the truth.
Just because the Secret Service have to guide him in which door to walk into the White House because he keeps walking off into the lawn in the wrong direction like a lost puppy. I mean, I'm guessing he's just having some bad days when he just needs more B12 shots and Geritol than others. I'm not really sure, but I don't even think Eddie, he knows what day it is.
And I've seen senility.
Oh no, Eddie, don't go there.
And I've seen dementia. I mean, that was one of the things my mom had. My mom had dementia, and there's some signs of some things that happens that.
Like speech?
Let me say it like this. I think the Democratic Party fear, F-E-A-R, Kamala Harris being
In charge.
president
She should have already taken over.
because again, their worst dream, their worst nightmare
Is the side chick running it?
has come true. I mean, and next year, watch what happens with these races. Everybody got a race next year.
They said she's going to run it too.
Well, she's running more and more of it behind the scenes. That's I pretty much think she's running stuff now, and he's more like the puppet.
He just told when to show up and say what he says, and that's it.
Yeah.
Get back out.
Yeah. I don't think he's running a lot of stuff. I'm just saying.
Well, they actually, Eddie, I'd read a report where some of the reporters kind of follow him around a little bit, say that during the daytime, they'll walk him around to groups of people to meet in rooms, and they'll just tell them, this is the president. They'll point to him, and Joel smiles and says, hey, how you guys doing? And then that's it. They walk him back out of the room, and then they'll have him even sign paperwork.
We got a caller. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio on this fine, breezy, Saturday, cool afternoon. Who are you? Where you calling from? And what say you? Hello.
How you doing? I'm just trying to figure out. Y'all must love Joe Biden to be talking about him so much because y'all have been talking about him ever since he was running for office. But now he in the office, he in the chair. Y'all talking about him like, just because Trump is not in the seat no more, y'all getting upset. And
no, wait. You must have not heard this show before because I have not mentioned Joe Biden's name in at least a month. Mm-hmm. I mean, he pooped himself a couple of weeks ago. I may have said he pooped himself. But I have not taken a show and spent more than 2 or 3 minutes talking about Joe Biden and anything he's done. I'm just saying. I mean, the other folks may have been talking about him. So sometimes people forget that this show is different from the rest of the show. Mm-hmm. So you may have heard people talking about Joe Biden, but it wasn't me. Matter of fact, I haven't called his name, in a while. We've been talking about how black folks made the world what it is today, and we've been trying to make sure we get credit for it. Not, Europeans spent a lot of time and energy and effort taking stuff from tombs and pyramids and all over the world, and that's what we've been talking about. We've not been talking about Joe Biden, sir. I'm sorry. Hello?
Yep, that's it. He was just offended.
Okay, he gone. Okay. Well, see, I'm gonna that's what I'm talking about. We have spent months would not even mention Joe Biden's name other than the poop incident. And somebody called, well, y'all talk about him all the time. See, that's the difference. See, when you're talking to somebody who spend a lot of time talking about, a person or thing. Now, I have not spent nearly as much time as most of the other shows spent talking about Trump. How bad he was, this, that, and all, week in and week out. I have intentionally not spent our dime here on the radio show talking about Biden. And not talking about, Rittenhouse, Kyle, not talk about Aubrey Huff and the new scenario where they literally convicted 3 white guys for actually killing a black guy. We didn't spend a whole bunch of time talking about Floyd. Again, a lot of those kind of things everybody's talking about. And we don't have anything new to report on that or any new angle to give you, so we haven't spent a lot of time talking about it. I know a lot of our listeners have wanted us to spend time talking about those things, but again, like I say, the nature of Porch Talk Radio is we are a conservative talk show, and we've been around for a while. So one of the reasons, Tim, well, 12 years, so we've been around for 12 years doing this, and one of the things that we have found help make us successful is the fact we don't do what everybody else does.
Eddie, if we think about how many times Biden talked about Trump in one of the last campaigns, it failed. I think Biden's talked more about Trump than Trump has talked about Biden over the last several months, because Biden spoke 25 times. He mentioned Trump's name in Georgia's race. He was there to try and get people to vote for the Georgia Democrat, and he lost pretty badly on that one because the whole conversation of Biden being there was talking about Trump. So Eddie's realized the more you speak about someone in particular, then the more people go, well, maybe that's not it. And that's basically what we're doing now. So we don't need any defenders of Biden's sorry record to be up here talking. I mean, just listen. You don't like it? You know what? It's America. You're welcome to check something else out. After 12 years of being here and being the most top-rated show out of all the other places we have been continuously, Eddie, we just bringing the truth, brother.
Well, and that's important because a lot of people who listen to our show don't spend a lot of time listening to a lot of the other shows.
Ooh.
I do have people that come on and turn the radio on at maybe 5 minutes to 1 on Saturday because they don't like, and they have told me, some of my listeners have told me that they don't listen to the other shows because of that. They don't want the mess. That's what a couple of people have said. There's too much mess on the other shows, and that's why we kind of still. I mean, every now and then, when Ken Welch won the mayor election over in St. Pete, that was a big deal, and a lot of people talked about it. I mean, we talked about it. We spent the show because we had been talked about it before he won. So we kept put. You got to put it out there sometime. We kept putting it out there. Yeah, kept putting it out there. Kept putting it out there. Kept putting it out there, saying that St. Pete was gonna get a black mayor, and they got one. Now we got to start working on Tampa getting the black mayor, and it's got to be someone like Ken Welch, because Ken Welch won in every demographic just about, and his family have a history in Pinellas County of being for the people. Without being Morgan and Morgan. But they've done some good things, and you can see it. And over a period of time, white people aren't afraid of you. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
They're not afraid of you because they know you're doing good and you're doing the right thing. And they're willing to pat you on the head. Like a good dog. And sometimes it works out good for everyone. But we haven't spent a whole lot of time the last month or so talking about politics.
No, you've been giving some really good history, Eddie, that has me questioning, like, where do you find that?
Well,
and I know you've been researching it.
Yeah, making people scratch their head.
So for the offended ones that are out there being offended that we'd say something about their poopy president that's sorry, well, it's just too bad. Suck it up because you're still in America, remember? Hello.
Right. Well, the good thing is, he's writing a legacy.
Sad.
And that legacy is going to be fulfilled next election, the next 2 elections.
Although Kamala Harris said that if Georgia went to the Democrats, that was going to tell.
Well,
that's what she said.
Well, again, they are more afraid of Kamala Harris than they were of Donald Trump. See, they're not going to say that though. They're not going to say that because they got to be good Democrats and they got to support the party line, even though
they don't like them.
I'm gonna tell you something right now that you're not hearing in the media at all. Slowly but surely, a lot of Democratic elected officials are becoming Republican. Now, why is that? I mean, you guys supposed to be on top of everything. You guys, gonna be in office for at least 8 years.
Eddie, now that you say that, they showed Biden partying with the billionaires on Thanksgiving Day, and Donald Trump was at, I'm guessing, probably his place, Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
But he was actually, they showed him tipping one of the helpers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, so what a contrast. Party with the billionaires, screw the Americans who are barely struggling to pay $50 for a stupid turkey, and yet here's Biden partying up there, having a great old time, and then there's Trump with the regular folk recognizing one of them and giving us a tip. That's huge.
And the other thing, it's been a long time since we talked about Trump on this radio show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so it ain't like we giving Trump favoritism and talking about how bad he's gonna win the next election.
Oh, it's gonna be huge. Eddie.
Because
huge.
Because I know there's a lot of people that's afraid of Donald Trump and the next election. It's a lot of Republicans afraid of Donald Trump,
and they need to be afraid, and they need to go.
And the next election, in Texas, you got a couple of Republicans that's shaking stuff up in Texas. In Texas, you got some Democrats that's kind of turning a delightful ear toward listening to some of the stuff the Republicans are talking about.
Because it's winning the votes, Eddie. People.
Well, the nature of it is 2022. It's going to be one of those midterm elections that may get as great a turnout as one of those presidential election years.
Well, all these policies, Eddie, they're doing against the people right now.
Right,
all the
right.
taxation.
Yeah.
People are thinking about why were we told by the CDC that they can't give us results on the COVID vaccine until 55 years later because they said they don't have enough people. But yet they've got 86,000 IRS agents going to be hired in there. They got money for that. Oh, and they don't have money to give to the black colleges now. Oh, imagine that. It's not important to them, folks.
Well, let's say this.
Ouch.
The fact that they're going to have thousands and thousands and thousands more IRS agents
86,000.
making at least $80,000 a year.
Full benefits.
Benefits on everything just to rape, pillage, and plunder the American people is going to make a statement. And see, it's enough folks understand voting now. See, you can't con nobody when you hire 86,000 more IRS agents. They're going to be making more and more contact with people, calling people, telling people you owe us money and you got to pay, or we're going to take your house, we're going to take your car, we're going to take your dog, we're going to take your cat, we'll take anything in payment, because you owe us. Now, again, everybody was on Trump because he was giving tax breaks. Oh, he was giving them to the rich. He wasn't giving it to the middle class. I'm going to tell you, the Democrats ain't giving nobody a tax break. The poor, the middle class, nor the rich.
Eddie, it's getting even worse because they've got this lady, name is SOHN Sun, that they're trying to put up there in charge of the banking, and she actually wants the banks to go away, and she wants the federal government to control every dollar bill that rolls into every account in this nation.
And they want to monitor. And they want to monitor it.
Monitor means take away.
So
freeze your account.
So you don't have to tell them how much money you made or how much money you got.
They will know when it hits direct deposit.
They're gonna know. They're gonna know. So think about that. All you folks who do your taxes every year, and you're very smart at hiding deductions and hiding stuff from the IRS, and they hiring 86,000 more people. Remember when they had the big controversy about the different conservative groups and organizations and how the IRS was making sure they didn't get deductions, they didn't get properly funded, they didn't get documentations to raise money, and then when they raised money, they was right there to make sure that they got their piece of it. Think about that happen. Now I'm gonna say it.
Come on.
It's not good PR. And I don't care what kind of election you got and what kind of campaign rhetoric you're going to be spilling. Folks going to say, yeah, but you said that last time. And we got 86,000 more IRS agents. And I ain't never been audited, but now I'm getting audited because you got people that you got to pay, and they gotta account for their own time.
Oh.
See, it's about how you treat me. Everybody can look at how you treat me. I ain't ever been audited, but now you got people who's exchanging dollars for hours,
Mm-hmm.
and in them hours they spend at the IRS, they gotta bring in dollars.
And the latest Biden person they're putting, because they're calling their brightest, that they're putting up there, wants to eliminate banking industry completely and let the government be the bank for you on every dollar bill that rolls into that account.
Yeah, and well they're gonna monitor dollars out.
Ouch.
And they're gonna monitor dollars in.
That can't be popular, Eddie.
And this is something I heard somebody say the other day. For some reason or another, whether it's a Democrat or Republican, the War Department, the military, gets what they need. And see, I'm talking to black folks now. Let me say this. Y'all don't understand. You can have a whole bunch of stuff you don't like about the government, but the government has to defend you. We have never been attacked by a military force on American soil. If you get weak, tomorrow, they got people around the world who will have their soldiers on your block tomorrow.
Immediately.
Tomorrow, if it was to the benefit of the leaders of their country to do it. It is because we're the biggest, baddest SOBs on the block, on the planet, that we don't have folks here. And what you don't want to appear to be weak. Now, all these social programs they got, and they find money for feeding people and hospitalizing dogs and cats and all the other things that good liberal folks want to spend their money on besides the military.
But it's our tax dollars the problem, Eddie.
That's good. You see, more harm has been done on this planet in the name of good than bad. You see what I'm saying? It's been a whole bunch of religious wars. People killing other because they don't think right. I intended for it to be good, but in unforeseen consequences, collateral damage. They got all kind of names for it. But I'm gonna tell you something. At the end of the day, if your military is weak, it ain't gonna take long for somebody to test it and find out. And if you're weak, we ain't too big to fail as a country. I'm gonna tell you that.
Eddie, and just this reminds me back of the Crusades that the Catholic people ran back in the day. That was after 400 years of being overrun by the Muslims, that the Catholics said, we've had enough, we're going to start killing. And they had the cross, and they would go into battle with the cross of Christ, just killing left and right. And people were like, oh my God, that was so evil. That was, okay, we had 400 years of being raped, ravaged, and murdered by the Muslims, and we came back and said, we're done. And the Catholics came back and fought strong, and they had to try and gain back ground. Now, for America to try and gain back ground after we lose, let's say, a fourth of the country, that's kind of a big deal, folks. We can't allow that. We can't allow that.
There's a reason they call those the Dark Ages.
It was bad on either side. You're right.
They call it the Dark Ages. They call it that for a reason. And I'm gonna tell you something. You want to see what the Dark Ages look like? Have either the Democrats or the Republicans not keep the military strong. Let's see how you feel with some other countries' soldiers
Coming down the block.
on your street,
Mm-hmm.
patrolling. I mean, France know what it's like.
Oh, that's right. We say there about 2 or 3 times, didn't we?
London, Germany, there's a whole bunch of countries know what it's like to have somebody else's troops riding down their streets.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? We are not too big to fail. What we have to do is keep the military strong, and because the average Joe Smo out there don't understand that, because see, they think it's either social programs or it's either the military. The social programs can be very, 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 very successful, but if the military ever stop being successful, when somebody else troops is riding down your street, so you gonna wish that they had put that money into maintaining the strength of the military.
You know, Omar, who's been a strong advocate for whatever can destroy America, Democrat out of Minnesota, she was advocating for the police to be removed completely, just dismantle the police. Now, as of last week, she was complaining that the police aren't doing their job because the crime rate is skyrocketing now because they've lost most of their police force, and they're not putting them in jail. They're letting them back out again. So because of that, they're just letting go helter-skelter. And now they're complaining, saying, well, they're not doing their job. Well, gee, you took away their morale, for one thing.
Yeah.
Then you took away the money to help them fund. Then you took away the enforcement that can keep them in jail and do a bail. They're going to that no bail, no money, no cash
Right.
thing like New York City. And New York City's fighting. The new BLM leadership there is fighting the new mayor. And the new mayor said, no, we're going to have order. And BLM said, no, you don't understand. We run this. And it's like, wait a minute. Why is all of social media happy that BLM is now fighting? This isn't racism. This is the black leader from BLM fighting the black leader that the people chose, supposedly, for New York City. And yet everybody's on board with BLM. It's a terrorist group, folks.
Well, this is the thing that I want people to remember as we do this. None of this is new ground.
No, unfortunately.
None of this is new. All of this has happened somewhere else before.
And failed, yeah.
And they got countries. Well, let me say it like this. Oil, fossil fuels, was supposed to save billions and billions and billions of barrels of oil. But see, what you don't understand, and the marketing is very good.
Oh.
The marketing is very good.
24/7.
Everywhere you see an electric car or a hybrid car, especially the ones they're trying to start having stations where you can stop on the side of the road and charge your car, you see a diesel generator burning diesel fuel to charge your electric car.
Eddie, you're being a racist now.
I have seen stupid. But not on the scale. Because now you got electric cars that take diesel engines to produce electricity to charge the electric cars and the hybrid cars. So now you got both. You're burning diesel fuel to create electric cars that won't get 200 miles to a charge. You can't go many places in 200 miles. I'm saying, if they had the Walking Dead come tomorrow,
in electric cars,
and all you guys electric cars, every one of them within 200 miles from where you start gonna be on the side of the road.
You know, Eddie, and this is, I think you're trying to define, I'll use an old phrase called retardation, because California wanted everybody to go to electric cars.
Yeah.
So they cut off their nuclear plants and they cut off some of the fossil fuel places so they could all be on just regular electricity. Well, like Eddie just pointed out, it takes something to generate electricity. It just doesn't happen out of thin air. Well, after everybody started getting their electric cars in California, then California began to have rolling brownouts.
Yeah.
Well, now you don't have electricity for your car
For your house.
or your house. You don't have electricity to charge your own phone, and yet you're supposed to be happy because they cut off all nuclear power plants and all fossil fuel plants to provide energy to just get the basics done. You happy?
Well, think about this.
Oof.
They got Ford trucks with a little generator in them. And I know you've seen the commercials because they're pretty good about advertising stuff. Where your house is black, and you take the cord from your house and plug it into your truck. Now, that sounds good.
Okay.
Now you're charging your house from the truck.
And how's it being working?
So what you got to do to charge your truck now?
Yeah.
Now you got to go somewhere, pay somebody else. Now you're paying the electric company anyway. But now you got to go find somebody up and down the highway somewhere with a diesel generator to charge your truck up to come back and light your house. You see what I'm saying? This stuff is stupid. But it's going national. They're trying to make every state do this. And they say in 10 years or 15 years or so many years down the road, that's what's going to happen. You got to have vision. If something looks like a duck,
Boy.
quack like a duck,
Come on now.
swims like a duck, got duck feet and a bill,
Must be a racist.
must be a duck. I am trying to tell you, it's only 5 states in the United States that produce enough wind energy for them to have an electric grid without some type of fossil fuel or some type of fossil fuel backup.
You know, Eddie, and now that you say that, out of the states that are running that, and I know Oklahoma's one of those that truly does suck and blows because of Kansas, but you got to live out there to know that one. But just understanding that the cost of running those windmills, there's a reason that in the 1800s those things started to go away into the 1900s because they just don't work out. Because the amount of energy it takes and the liquids and the chemicals it takes to run the transmissions in these windmills, they say it is cheaper to just knock it down and put another one up than to try and fix these windmills they're trying to put up right now. And all the chemicals they put in that gets wasted on the ground all around them when the transmissions bust up. It's like a regular car thing. You got all those fluids everywhere, so you're kind of really destroying what you're trying to save, and you're spending millions replacing these things.
And I'm not trying to be pathetic here. Cause
No, empathetic.
you got wind and then you got solar.
Uh-huh.
Now, the potential for solar is better than wind because everybody gets some sunshine. It varies over where you are.
Seattle, never.
You know how much sun you get.
Yeah.
But, and they can actually take the technology and take windows, glass windows,
Mm-hmm.
in big buildings, small buildings, rooftops,
Mm-hmm.
and use it to produce electricity.
But that would put the electric companies out of business. They ain't gonna put up with that.
Well, that's when money gets involved. Because the electric companies got shareholders.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
And right now, it's kind of like a drug dealer.
Oh, my
I'm
goodness.
tell you what drug dealers
Uh-oh.
do.
Come on.
For those who don't know drugs, you know, you may have not been in the inner city, or you don't know how it started. They will give you A lot of drug dealers give you reefer. They give you crack cocaine. They give
Free.
you, LSD, heroin, all that stuff. Back in the day, to establish a territory and a market.
Wow.
So they get you hooked.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you hook, you come to and say, okay, I gotta have it. Then that's when they tell you, well, it's gonna be $200.
Eddie, that's not
Well,
a conspiracy.
I ain't got $200. Well, then go knock off some old lady. Go knock off some old man. Go get it from your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother. Go sell your children. And I'm telling you something. The nature of electricity is it's hard to live nowadays without electricity.
You can't charge your phone. That's right.
You can't charge anything. And if you ever had to do a meat toss, several years ago the power went out, and we had to throw away a couple $100 worth of meat because we got a freezer. Everything thawed.
I thought that's what you were saying. What are you talking about, a meat toss?
Meat toss, yeah. If you got a freezer
Yeah.
full of stuff, if it thaws, everything in there got to go.
Or just have a big barbecue.
Yeah, yeah.
Right then.
Well, it's kind of hard if you got a full freezer full of stuff. It's kind of hard to. I'm not sure whether we got a caller or not. Do we got a caller? Oh, okay, all right. we got a football. Okay. well, I thought we were gonna go on. I think we started at 120.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna go to 220. Now, if I'm wrong, go ahead and tell me, because I thought that's what
we said.
That's what we were doing.
He's a man of his word, I'm sure.
Yeah. So well, before I finish that electrical thought, let me go ahead and do the on this day.
Oh, there we go.
Just in case.
Keep it moving.
Just in case.
He cuts us off.
Yeah. In case the power goes down. Okay, we got a caller. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. Who are you? Where you calling from? And what say you? Hello. Oh, we can't hear anything in here? Oh.
I thought we had it working earlier.
Oh, okay.
Moving on. Well.
Okay.
We're cutting electricity off a little bit.
History.
Okay, on this day.
There we go.
Howard, okay, can you come in here for a second?
Can't hear the caller?
We can't hear anything.
I wonder why. You could before. Did you touch anything?
No.
It was working. I ain't touching it.
All right.
Joe was on one. I was doing the meat toss.
Yeah, but we couldn't hear it.
Where's the remote?
It's over there somewhere.
We don't touch it.
Hey, keep talking to me.
Okay, all right. Anyway, on this day, I see.
You walk off with it?
Somebody heard us talking about power, and there we go. We got a power issue.
Gosh dang it.
On this day, November the 27th, 1779. The College of Philadelphia. The College of Pennsylvania. Okay, it's back on now. The College of Pennsylvania became the University of Pennsylvania. It was the first legally recognized university in America.
Really?
Yeah.
Out of Pennsylvania.
1779. On
3 years.
On this day.
Call is still on when you're done.
Okay. And if you recall, several weeks ago, we did the thing about the first colleges, and we're going back, thousands of years, a couple hundred years, and it started in Africa. Anyway, all right. On this day, November the 27th, 1934, U.S. bank robber George Babyface Nelson was killed by the FBI in Barrington, Illinois. Now, I know most of you have seen the story of Babyface Nelson. I mean, we had some bank robbers back in the day.
I think he even hated the phrase babyface.
Yeah, but that happened. This is something. Most of this stuff is good stuff. And if you're a trivia buff and you like trivia, you know, and you play trivia games, I'm probably one of the leading folks for providing information for you and your trivia game, because a lot of people don't know this
Might
stuff.
be the only one.
No, well, I ain't gonna go that far.
Top
but-
rated show in America, the World Wide Web, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, on this day, because every day
Something happened.
of the year, something has happened. So, on this day, November 27th, 1992, in Venezuela, rebel forces tried but failed to overthrow President Carlos Perez for the second time in 10 months. So Venezuela didn't just get the way it is now.
Mm-hmm.
It took an effort over and over and over and over to get to where half of their population is starving to death.
Yeah, in fact, they had a picture I'd seen of the Venezuela dollar bill having the value less than toilet paper wadded up all over the streets.
Yeah.
And that's what the Biden administration is trying to do to us now.
All right. And last but not least, on this day, November 27th, 2008, the ocean liner Queen Elizabeth II, QE2, was taken out of service, and it had been in service for more than 30 years.
That's a long time.
The ship was launched September the 20th, 1967.
That's a long time for a ship.
Gabriel, we're going to do your thing, and then we're going to get to the caller.
All right, we're going to do this, folks. Managing your weight around the holidays requires just a little bit of planning for everybody. For example, I took the batteries out of my scale on Wednesday. So you just got to plan it just right. Meanwhile, if I don't get vaccinated, I am 100% protected against the vaccine side effects and 99.8% protected against COVID. That sounds like a good deal. Hospitalizations are rising, as per Dr. Fauci, amongst the fully vaccinated. What we are starting to see now is an uptick in hospitalizations among people who have been vaccinated but not boosted. So that means that vaccine 1, 2, and 3 hasn't worked, and you need to go on to the second booster or third booster to get that done. For the first time in history, that the ineffectiveness of a medicine is being blamed, or vaccination is being blamed on those who haven't taken us. Meanwhile, the U.S. now restricts 8 countries in South Africa traveling. The old white racist liberal Biden did that. That's not xenophobe when a white liberal does it, right?
No.
Only when a Republican does it.
They get a pass.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, Florida reports the lowest COVID virus cases per capita as per blue state surge. So whatever the Democrat-run states are doing, it's not working. Meanwhile, Beto O'Rourke, who's going to run for governor of Texas, I believe, he was actually told
And lose.
at one of his last campaign rallies, get the hell out. And he had to leave. So his campaign people, they didn't quite plan that right. Now, the news isn't what happens, it's what they want you to see. If the Washika massacre perpetrator had been white, he drove through traffic, drove through the parade, black guy, the media would be covering this nonstop 24/7. Since he's black, they are eager to steer your attention elsewhere. This is critical race theory in media application. And they're right. If that had been a white guy, that would have been 24/7 coverage. Meanwhile, a professional tip, napping if you want to nap while the kids are home, just say, wake me in 30 minutes so we can clean the house. They will then do literally anything to avoid waking you. Just a parent trick there. Meanwhile, Kendall Qualls observed that on Reverend Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination date, they were having a conversation. He was 5 years old when Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, and at that time, nearly 80% of black children were born in a two-parent family. Minnesota-based Take Charge, the name of the organization, Minnesota-based Take Charge, President Kendall Qualls addressed the issue of envisioning a post-racial America and moving the nation beyond its current laser focus on racial identity. He said, in my lifetime, we have seen the black community transform from 80% two-parent families to 80% fatherless homes Without a one national initiative to reverse the trend, if the American black family was a spotted owl or gray fox, it would be on the endangered species list. This would have happened in the black community is nothing short of a cultural genocide, and it's the cause of 90% of the problems that we face in our communities. Not the mystical systemic racism. This is not the dream that Martin Luther King had in mind, and it's been a nightmare for children born this time. We have been used as political pawns for 50 years, and it ends with him. That's awesome, Eddie. Someone just standing up saying, we have the gorilla in the room here, but nobody's paying attention to it. Finally, the transgender ideology is dangerous to women and girls. Anti-science erases real women and is about speech transphobic to control. This is not the point. This is just to point this out. This is being an advocate for women. And of course, with the Clinton turkey being put on the table, Chelsea says, oh, look, somebody killed the turkey for us. And Bill Clinton responds, no, sweetie pie, we didn't kill the turkey. It committed suicide.
Way to go, way to go.
Hey.
Okay, caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio on this fine Saturday afternoon. I know we're doing a little bit of overtime, but it's not really overtime. So we're just trying to catch up. Who are you? Where are you calling from? And what say you? Hello?
Eddie Adams.
Yes, sir, Mr. Robinson.
Jim Robinson, man.
Hey.
Man, y'all the only show on today, man. I mean, how y'all pull that off and you getting extra time because you start late? But I know what happened.
Because we're important.
We're important.
I know that's why I called in. I was hoping somebody go because I wanted to just
Come on, bring it.
to really know we lost the icon this Thanksgiving evening. Icon, a great man, a great person, Dr. Walter Smith, passed. And boy, what an icon! President of FAMU, wrote that list in 12 books, done a lot of stuff around here. A lot of people tell him I used to see him every day at the post office. A great man. I just want to send my condolences to the family, especially to Walter Jr. the second, and my prayers to everybody. And I just hope that library he started, maybe we could find another building or something if the family wants. Maybe the museum we're trying to get over here and save some of them artifacts we got in this Walt Smith Library. But I just want to send out my condolences to the family, and the Walter especially, and all of his family, for the passing of the late Dr. Walter Smith, past president of FAMU, one of the great icons in this state of Florida. And that's all I want to say. Y'all got a great show, and let's get ready for December, and then come January, I'll have this with all this politics. I'm going to tell you that now, because I know what's going on. To keep up the good prep and don't get into that Omicron. We're going through the Greek alphabet now.
Joe, they skipped a couple of them. they didn't want to offend nobody.
I know. Okay, you know how these Omicron and Omega is. After Omega, okay. But anyway, I just wanted to highlight you guys and get that out there to the community. And God bless you guys.
Thank you, Joe. We really appreciate it. Yes, and from Porch Talk Radio, all our staff, friends, and all our support elements, we send our condolences to Walter Smith Jr. For the loss of his father, and he was an absolute giant in this community. You can't replace people like Dr. Walter Smith. He can't be replaced. All we can do is build upon what he started.
Beautiful.
And Joe had a great idea. I know he started that library, but there is no reason we can't build from the ground up, either in some type of community center or some kind of history center, and name it Walter Smith Library, or some wing of the library named after Dr. Walter Smith, because he will not be forgotten. But it's no reason that the community at large should not do something monumental for a person of his stature.
That'd be awesome, Eddie. That's great.
And again, Walter Smith Jr., a good friend of mine. We send our condolences to you and your family and all the relatives. May he rest in peace.
You know, Eddie, my question to you is, because I think you've got a degree in microbiology or something like that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the question is, if they've never isolated the COVID virus, SARS, whatever 19 they want to call it, how can we have variants? How can we recognize variants if we've never recognized the actual virus? Somebody must be pulling out of their butt.
Well, Gabriel,
I don't have the degree that you do.
As I said before, everybody thought COVID-19 was from 2019. COVID-19, the bug that they're still fighting, was discovered in 1919. It's been around for 100 years.
And we survived this long.
It's a political bug.
Oh!
That's why this time we got 4 variants of it, and we got a new one on the way. Omicron. Okay, and I said this. I told the world. I told all our listening audience back in August and September that sometime after October, I said that, right, and I'm not patting myself on the back and saying I told you so, but I said there will be another variant sometime after October. I said that right here. And if you've been listening to this show, you may not have believed me because every now and then we get something right. But we told you it was coming. It is here. So, Tampa Bay, until next time, next bat time, same bat channel, next week, maybe we'll start on time next week.
Yeah.
You know, we was off a little bit, but you're still here, we're still here. You know, until then, we love you, Tampa Bay. Bye-bye.
God bless America.
See ya.